Hi guys. It's been a while since I updated you about the whole school issue. So I thought I'd catch you guys up on what's been happening. So far what I've told you is I told the school and then I spoke to the teacher on that Friday. And then I spoke to her homeroom teacher on the Monday and basically explained that, you know, something happened last week, and then she said she didn't know about it, no one mentioned it to her, um, which was quite suspect. And then I said, okay, let me know if you find out. So I left it for a few days, and that's very generous of me. Meanwhile, Laura wasn't allowed to wear the skirt anymore, and she was wearing trousers for school pants. So obviously you're not gonna take those off. Otherwise you will be naked. And then so I left it till like Wednesday, and then I called them, and then they said that they're looking into it and I'll get a response. And then on Thursday, which is like a week now from when it happened, Charlie went in there to speak to the teacher to find out what's going on, what investigation they've done. Um, he was told they're lacking staff today, so he's gonna have to have words with them after school because they are starting the lessons already in the morning. So I couldn't wait, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna call the office and I'm gonna ask them what's going on. So I called the office in the morning, and then they, I said to the receptionist, I want to speak to someone that knows about the incident regarding my daughter last week. And then she basically said, "Oh, was that Laura when she wasn't dressed appropriately?" And I went, "What, when she didn't have her skirt on?" Yeah, that's the incident that I'm talking about. And then she said, "Well, she was waiting for a long time. I mean, you guys were late picking her up, so she did have to wait for a long time in the office." And I went, "Okay." And then they said, and yeah, I saw her wearing leggings. And I went, "She wasn't wearing leggings. She's wearing tights." And then they basically said, "Oh, okay, well, it looked all right to me, like it didn't look like she was indecent." And I went, "You're in no position to say that. Like, you do not have authority to say that, okay, I'm okay for that because that's my opinion." Like, you're not. Anyway, so I said, "I need to speak to someone that knows about this, okay? Can you just transfer me to the principal because I want to talk to someone higher up. Like, there should be an investigation already." And then they said, "The principal's busy. He's in a conference call right now." I said, "Okay, no problem. I'll hold." And they said, "It's probably best if you call back later, or if we can ask him to call you back when he's available." And I said, "No, I gave you guys like a week to deal with this. And I personally think that it's more than enough. So I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold and I'm going to wait." Right? So anyway, I was on hold for a while, and they basically said, he's now gone to assembly. And I said, "Wait, so from being on a conference call, like he went straight to assembly? Is that what you're saying? Like, knowing full well that I'm on hold?" And then they said, "Well, if you want to know about the details, he does have a laptop and he may have taken the call there, and then now he's gone to assembly with his laptop. If you want to know the details." I'm like, why be rude? Anyway, I'm like, okay, if that's the case, then I'll go to I'll wait. But let him know that I am waiting. It is an urgent matter. And when he finishes assembly, I want to call from him. I want to talk to him. They said, okay, no problem. So I waited for a couple of hours. It was already like 12 o'clock, coming up to 1. And then I got a phone call, and they said, basically, Charlie, my partner, he's gonna be speaking to the teachers anyway after school. So maybe just wait until then. Or because the principal is a very busy guy. That's what they said, quote unquote. He's a very busy guy. He basically needs to call me maybe later after school. I said, what is he doing now? He said, oh, he's really busy supervising the playground. And I'm like, you're telling me that the principal is busy, like, overseeing the playground right now, when he knows that there's a public indecency incident that happened because of your neglect last week, and he doesn't want to acknowledge that and entertain that right now? Is that what you're telling me? And then they basically tried to argue like, oh, you spoke to the assistant head already. And I went, okay, I want to speak to the head. I want to make sure that he knows about this. And then they said, well, we don't know that. And I went, that's exactly why I want to talk to him, so that I can find out, right? And then, anyway, so I'm trying to deal with this receptionist, and she wasn't very nice. So in the end, I'm like, you know what? I don't really want to do this, but I request CCTV, which is by law, by the way. You can request a data subject access request within the UK, and you are allowed your own personal data, especially if you have children under the age of 12, I believe, who cannot make their own decisions. You can represent them and ask for their personal data. So, because of the incident that happened, I feel like it was more than appropriate for me to request the CCTV footage, right? So I said, I just want the CCTV. I'm requesting a DSAR right now, data subject access request. And they said, we don't have CCTV. Girl, it's all over, it's surrounded, it's a fixed CCTV operation system that you have all over school. It's right there. And they said, well, we don't want to discuss the CCTV policy with you right now. And I went, okay, I don't want to discuss this with you. Like, I want to speak to the head. This is important. Like, this is neglect. And then they basically just kept shrugging me away. And I got so peed off that I told them, look, right now on this phone call, I'm requesting a DSAR. And they said, I don't understand what that means. You have to write us. And I went, no, this is my full-time job. I know exactly what I'm talking about. You can request it over the phone. You just don't want to acknowledge it. But I am still requesting it, and this is recorded on my side, and I am requesting my data. So, in a nutshell, that phone call ended. A few hours had gone by, and Charlie picked up Laura, and apparently even the head teacher was there, several teachers, and they were all very, very apologetic about the whole situation. But they never contacted me, even to this day. So, what do you think is going on here?